I think it's very interesting that over the last 10 years, we've had a huge rise in what we could call the information economy. Now, with information being accessible at a higher quality, at a lower cost than has ever existed previously, we had a burst of information products. We had the burst of, podcasts, YouTube, social media. There was that type of product which was called informational products. That was a sort of like a new novelty for people to sell. And I think we are exiting a period where our goods and our value is produced through physical goods, because we've pretty much maxed out the amount of physical goods that any person could need. And we've shifted into this informational product era, this informational era where information can be sent instantly at no cost, and more people are generating income, generating value through that. I think it's interesting that some people say that ideas are the new oil, right? So information and good ideas, they're highly, highly valuable. And in this sense, if this is true, then what's going to happen is the free market of information is going to correct itself. And as a free market does, it will correct itself to find the highest quality information that we have access to as humans. And naturally, if I said to you, well, what's the highest quality information that we have access to as humans? The highest quality information is usually how we live our lives, how to maximize our well-being, how to maximize our happiness, how to maximize our wealth, how to maximize whatever we think we want. And I think what we're all searching for through information is the best wisdom available, because wisdom produces results. Wisdom is timeless. Wisdom is proven over time. And I think this is why there's a huge resurgence of the ancient wisdom traditions and philosophies almost going into mainstream now, because people have gotten the appetite for effective ideas. People who've not been exposed to podcasts or YouTube or even books or anything before, they're starting to pick up on different ideas to do with personal growth, self-help. And that's always been a thing. But I think the free market of information is now seeking out the highest quality information to give to people en masse, which is why you're seeing a huge rise in, the Greek philosophies going back through Stoicism. There's so many, go into any bookstore, there's something about Stoicism there, Greek philosophy. Obviously, all of the ancient Hindu and Vedic worldview is coming back. And I think that's going to go more and more mainstream. We have all the Taoist, Chinese, Buddhist texts coming back. We have a lot more access to Western psychological information. If you look at the rise of Jordan Peterson or those Carl Jung and those classic Western psychologists, I think people are more interested in that than ever. Because what's happening is the free market of information is correcting itself to go towards the highest quality information that we have available as humans. And obviously, as it turns out, the highest quality information has been reserved and conserved over thousands of years by these ancient cultures, because they have wisdom that we as a little subsection of society in this particular period of time kind of don't grasp well or don't have access to, or have previously not had access to before the internet. So what's happening is we are being flooded and exposed with all of the ancient ideas and philosophies and wisdom traditions of the ancient world, which previously wasn't accessible to the average person even 20 years ago. You'd have to be, extremely well read at the library. You'd have to know people. You'd have to, you can't just find this information on the internet 20 years ago. So now we're being exposed with all the previous information and wisdom that we've had access to previously. So in a market where ideas are the new oil, then wisdom traditions are inherently the fastest path to growth and practicality and value. And you could argue profit, because the ancient wisdom traditions, surprise, surprise, humans have always been humans. There's been millions of people who have gone and died before you, who've collected wisdom, and those cultures, those ancient cultures, have conserved it over thousands of years because it was that valuable to them. I don't think you could say the same for the average, podcast or something that you see now. Have we come across something in Western society that's so worth preserving that it's conserved and taught to this day? Maybe a lot of the Carl Jung stuff, a lot of the Western psychological stuff that happened after the 19th century, we still use that and teach that. But now we're realizing that millions and millions of humans have gone before us, They had ancient societies with their own wisdom traditions, and they were so high quality for them that they conserved it from generation to generation so that we could have a chance to access it today. So this is why I think ancient Greek ideas, ancient Eastern Indian ideas are essentially going to be highly in demand in terms of the information market. I think you'll see demand for Sanskrit speakers coming back, or translators of Sanskrit texts. I think you'll see Western people looking more towards the Indian gurus, and Indian people looking more towards Western psychologists, as these two worlds kind of combine and blend. And then, of course, the people who can synthesize everything that we have access to into larger meta models, such as the integralists, will have the advantage in this free market of ideas, because the integralists, Ken Wilber, integral theory, that sort of scene, is the only one that I'm aware of so far which has really done an excellent job at fusing the psychological and developmental insights of the West over the last 100, 200 years with the consciousness work and other consciousness-related beliefs and actions of the various Eastern cultures which have existed for thousands of years, if not tens of thousands of years. So the integralists are going to have the advantage. So here's my thoughts on ancient wisdom coming back, why it's coming back, and how we live in this free market of information and free market of ideas. If you want to be in demand in the next couple of years, when people don't want to go to an AI for their human-based wisdom tradition, you should be learning the Eastern texts, learn Sanskrit, learn ancient Chinese, be an expert on Taoism. People will seek meaning because their AIs are going to get rid of their job. They're going to seek ancient wisdom, and they're going to want to seek it from a human, because all ancient information, an AI can give you information, but an AI can't give you wisdom. A human can transmit wisdom. AI can give you information on anything. I think only a human can really transmit that wisdom, because it's from a sense of being and suffering as a human in a way that an AI doesn't have a reference point to. So if you've been laid off by AI and you're considering a career change, things like learning Sanskrit and learning Buddhism would not be a bad idea in the next 5 to 10 years, as unconventional as that is, because more and more people are going to seek the highest quality information that we have as a human society. And they've always been in those Eastern traditions and a lot of the Western traditions as well. I'm going to stop rambling now.